There is a certain kind of cold feeling that settles in your chest when you realize you are truly alone. You look around the room at your colleagues, your family, your so-called friends, and you notice the shift. The smiles no longer reach their eyes. The conversations stop when you walk in. The atmosphere has changed. You are no longer one of them. You are now the target. Most men collapse at this point. The human animal is built for tribe, for agreement, for safety in numbers. When the pack turns on you, the instinct is to panic, to beg, to explain yourself, to fight your way back into the warmth of the group. Do not do it. If you feel the weight of the world pressing against you right now, it is not an accident. It is a promotion. You have activated the immune system of the mediocre. You have become a threat, and that means you are finally doing something meaningful. Niccolò Machiavelli, the man who wrote the handbook on power, wrote it from a place of suffering. He was not relaxing in a palace. He was in exile. He was stripped of his position, accused of conspiracy, thrown into a cell, and tortured with the strappado. His hands were tied behind his back, lifted by a rope, and dropped until his shoulders came out of place. Everyone stood against him: the state, the church, the Medici family, his former allies. He did not beg. He did not say sorry. He went home, washed the blood from his body, sat at his desk, and wrote The Prince. He turned exile into influence that has lasted longer than every person who hurt him. You want to know how to win when the odds seem impossible. You want to know how to flip the situation so their hatred becomes fuel for your rise. I will show you. But you must let go of the need to be liked. Power is not a popularity contest. It works like physics, and right now we are going to use the pressure of the world to build your throne. First, you must understand what is really happening. You are not being attacked because you are weak. You are being attacked because you broke the silent agreement of the group. In The Prince, Machiavelli wrote, "There is nothing more difficult to take in hand, more dangerous to manage, or more uncertain in success than to introduce a new order of things." When you begin to improve your life, when you fix your money, your body, your mind, you hold up a mirror to the people around you. Your growth exposes their stagnation. Your discipline highlights their laziness. They do not truly hate you. They hate the light that shows their own failure. This is the crab bucket mentality. If one crab tries to climb out, the others do not celebrate. They grab its legs and drag it back down. If it keeps climbing, they crack its shell. You are the crab trying to escape. The mistake you are making is trying to explain yourself to the crabs. You are trying to justify your vision. You believe that if they understood your reasons, they would support you. Stop. They understand very well. That is exactly why they resist you. To win, you must stop seeing their opposition as a tragedy. See it as confirmation. If you were moving in the wrong direction, they would be comfortable with you. The fact that they are disturbed is proof. You are moving differently. The friction you feel is the cost of speed. Accept this reality. You cannot carry them with you. The herd moves at the speed of its slowest member. The predator moves at the speed of hunger. Decide which one you will be. When the world turns against you, your natural reaction is to make noise, to defend your name, to correct every lie. This is a trap. When you argue with a crowd, you give them power. You show them their opinion can disturb your peace. You pour your energy into a black hole. Machiavelli suggests another path. When the Medici forced him out of Florence, he did not stand in the piazza shouting about injustice. He disappeared. He withdrew to his farm in Sant'Andrea. He became silent. This is the strategy of the void. When everyone is against you, remove the target. Become hard to reach. Pull back your presence, your voice, and your emotional reactions. This does two powerful things. First, it starves the fire. Gossip and hatred need fuel. They need your reaction. When you give them nothing, complete cold silence, there is nothing left to burn. The fire turns inward and consumes itself. Second, it creates mystery. While you are quiet, you are not inactive. You are building in private. Imagine the psychological impact on someone who attacks you and receives nothing in return. No anger, no sadness, no defense, just a blank expression and then distance. They begin to wonder, what does he know? Why is he calm? What is he planning? The fear shifts from you to them. Use isolation wisely. The void is not empty. It is a furnace. When you are alone and stripped of support, you are forced to rely on yourself. You stop chasing validation because no one is there to give it. You begin to generate your own confidence. You become your own source of strength. Look at 50 Cent. When he was blacklisted by parts of the music industry, when he survived being shot 9 times, when labels refused to sign him, he did not complain publicly. He went underground. He recorded mixtapes. He flooded the streets with content, not excuses. He built a loyal audience before the industry even noticed. By the time they realized he was serious, he was already powerful. If they have pushed you out, good. They have locked you in a room with your potential. Do not walk out until you have transformed. There will be moments when you cannot disappear. You may be stuck in an office with people who want you gone. You may live in a home with family members who resent your ambition. You may stand in the middle of hostile territory. In these moments, use one of Machiavelli's most dangerous lessons. Hide your intentions. In Discourses on Livy, Machiavelli tells the story of Lucius Junius Brutus. The king, Tarquin the Proud, killed Brutus's father and brother. Brutus was next in line. Everyone was against him. He had no visible power. If he fought openly, he would die. If he ran, he would be hunted. So he did something unexpected. He pretended to be foolish. He acted slow and harmless. He allowed the king to mock him. He let the court laugh. He lowered himself until he became invisible. He was no longer seen as a threat. Behind the mask, Brutus observed everything. He studied weaknesses. He waited for instability. When Tarquin's son assaulted Lucretia and public anger exploded, Brutus dropped the act. He drew his sword and led the rebellion that ended the monarchy and began the Roman Republic. He succeeded because he was willing to look weak for a time. Robert Greene later described this idea as Law 38. Think as you wish, but behave like others. When everyone is against you, do not display your full ambition. That makes you a target. Blend in when needed. If your boss dislikes you, do not try to outshine him immediately. Agree where it costs you nothing. Let him feel safe. If your family laughs at your business idea, downplay it. Say it is just a small project. Lower their defenses. Make them believe you are not a threat anymore. There is quiet confidence in this strategy. You know you are acting. They do not. This is not weakness. It is strategy. You are a spy behind enemy lines. Collect information. Save your energy. Wait for the moment when opportunity appears. An arrow does not announce itself before it strikes. Nassim Nicholas Taleb speaks about anti-fragility. There are fragile things that break under pressure, like glass. There are robust things that resist pressure, like stone. And there are anti-fragile things that grow stronger because of pressure, like muscle or the human mind when trained correctly. When everyone is against you, do not aim to simply survive. Aim to improve because of the pressure. Use criticism as information. When they call you arrogant, ask yourself if you need more humility or better control of your tone. When they say you lack skill, increase your competence. When they say you are broke, focus on building cash flow. Your enemies can become honest auditors. Friends often protect your feelings. Enemies reveal uncomfortable truths because they want to hurt you. Remove the emotion and take the lesson. Machiavelli wrote that a ruler must be both a fox and a lion. The fox recognizes traps. The lion frightens wolves. Your opponents show you where the traps are. Learn from them. Being surrounded by opposition also forces rapid growth. Comfort creates laziness. Pressure creates evolution. If they are watching you, doubting you, competing with you, you are forced to sharpen your skills. They are unknowingly training you to become exceptional. Without the Joker, Batman is just a wealthy man in a suit. The villain shapes the hero. Opposition creates strength. Look at Apple when Steve Jobs was removed from the company he founded. The board believed they were protecting the company. Jobs could have complained forever. Instead, he built Next and helped transform Pixar. When he returned to Apple years later, he came back sharper, more experienced, and more focused. The rejection refined him. The exile prepared him. When everyone is against you, remember this simple truth. The crowd rarely attacks someone who is average. The crowd reacts to difference. If they are united in resistance, it means you are no longer ordinary. That is not a curse. It is a signal. Stay calm. Stay silent when needed. Improve in private. Strike only when the moment is right. You are not alone in history. Every man who changed his position in life felt this cold moment, the silence in the room, the shift in energy, the realization that comfort is gone. Do not beg to return to it. That comfort was a cage. This pressure is a doorway. If you can stand it without breaking, if you can turn hostility into fuel, you will look back one day and understand that the moment everyone turned against you was the exact moment you began to rise. The industry slowly turned against him. He did not step away. He did not disappear. He did not quietly retire. He moved forward. He founded Next. He bought Pixar. He studied how to lead people. He learned patience the hard way. Those years in the wilderness did not destroy him. They reshaped him into the CEO who could later return and build the most valuable company on earth. If he had remained at Apple in 1985, comfortable and arrogant, he would have collapsed. The betrayal did not ruin him. It rescued him. When the tribe rejects you, you face a frightening truth. Nobody is coming to rescue you. In movies, the cavalry always shows up at the last second. In real life, you are the cavalry. Niccolò Machiavelli, in chapter 13 of The Prince, warns against using auxiliary forces, hired mercenaries, or powerful allies. He explains that if they lose, you lose. If they win, you become their prisoner. If you depend on someone else to save you from your enemies, you have simply traded one master for another. This time of isolation is your opportunity to build complete self-reliance. Financial independence. You need income that does not depend on a boss who dislikes you. Emotional independence. You need peace that does not rely on a partner who fails to understand you. Intellectual independence. You need ideas you have tested yourself, not opinions downloaded from the group. This is the mindset of a sovereign person. When you need nothing from them, their power over you disappears. Ask yourself why it hurts that they are against you. It hurts because you still need something. You want their approval, their money, their connections, their affection. Identify that need clearly, then find a way to provide it for yourself or learn to live without it. The moment you can stand before the crowd and honestly say, "I do not need you to survive," you have already won. You have cut the invisible strings. You are no longer a puppet reacting to their disapproval. You are free, and a free person is the most dangerous thing in the world to a group of slaves. Right now you look at the people against you and you see a wall, a solid wall, a united front. It feels unbreakable. But that unity is often an illusion. Machiavelli understood that no group is truly united for long. Groups are held together by temporary interests and, in this moment, by a shared enemy, you. The second you remove yourself as the target, through silence and emotional distance, the glue that holds them together begins to weaken. Without a common enemy, cracks appear. Your task is not to charge into the wall. Your task is to find the loose brick. In The Prince, Machiavelli advises rulers to keep their enemies divided. If you are facing a toxic department at work, a hostile family event, or a circle of fake friends, do not attack the whole group. Isolate the weakest link. There is always one person who is less committed than the others. One who is agreeing only because they are afraid of becoming the next target. One who secretly envies the leader. Find that person. Approach them quietly, not to fight, but to connect. Say something like, "I know the others don't understand everything, but I always felt you were different. You're the only one who really sees the bigger picture." Feed their ego slightly. Plant a small seed of doubt about the others. You might say, "I heard the leader mentioned you the other day. I defended you." You do not have to lie. You simply highlight the tension that already exists beneath the surface. When you turn even one person, the group loses its solid image. Suddenly, it is not everyone against you. It is only some people. That small psychological shift weakens their energy. They begin to question each other. They start wondering who is loyal. Suspicion grows, and while they are busy watching one another, they stop focusing on you. This is how you dismantle an army without ever firing a shot. You insert a virus into the system. Revenge is natural. When someone hurts you, your body demands retaliation. You want to shout. You want to expose them publicly. You want to hurt them the way they hurt you. Control that urge. It is primitive, it is messy, and it often backfires. If you attack them directly, you give them a story. "See? He's unstable. He's toxic. We were right to exclude him." You confirm their narrative. The only revenge that truly works, the only kind Machiavelli would respect, is undeniable success. In warfare, there is a concept called overmatch. It means having such overwhelming capability that the enemy understands fighting is useless. You must build a life so clearly superior that their opinion of you becomes irrelevant. Think about it. Does a lion worry about a sheep's opinion on hunting? Of course not. The gap in power is too large. Your goal is to increase that gap. While they gossip, you train. While they spend every Friday at the same bar complaining about the same boss, you build a second income stream. While they slowly decline, you get stronger. While they repeat old patterns, you improve. This is the Count of Monte Cristo strategy. Edmond Dantes was imprisoned, forgotten, erased. He did not scream endlessly. He used the time to educate himself, discover treasure, and rebuild his identity. When he returned, he did not simply argue with his enemies. He outclassed them. He bought their banks. He uncovered their secrets. He dismantled their lives calmly. And they did not even realize who he was until it was too late. You must become the Count. Let them enjoy their small wins today. Let them have their petty office politics and shallow arguments. You are playing a longer game. You are playing for the next decade, not just the next day. 6 months of intense focus can move you 5 years ahead of the average person. Imagine showing up 1 year from now with a new car, a stronger body, a sharper mindset, a higher income, and treating them with calm indifference. That silence hurts more than anger because it proves they were never important enough to stop you. There is one final shift you must make. Stop wishing it were easier. Stop wishing they treated you kindly. Learn to love the resistance. The Romans called it amor fati, love of fate. Not just accepting what happens, but embracing it as the raw material for growth. If everyone seems against you, it may mean you are being tested. A pilot does not hate the wind that pushes against the plane during takeoff. He uses that resistance to create lift. Without opposing wind, the plane cannot rise. Your enemies are your wind. Every time they say you cannot do it, they give you fuel. Every time they exclude you, they give you quiet space to work. Every time they betray you, they teach you awareness. Machiavelli himself was removed from his diplomatic role. If that had not happened, he might have remained an average bureaucrat in Florence, forgotten by history. Because they destroyed his position, he was forced to think deeply and write. They created the thinker whose ideas would expose power games for centuries. When you see your enemies through this perspective, you stop acting like a victim. You begin acting like a hunter. You look at them and think, "Thank you, you are sharpening me." That is real power. When you can look at someone trying to harm you and feel genuine gratitude for the lesson, you become untouchable. They cannot break you because you transform pain into strength. You become like an alchemist. They throw lead at you and you turn it into gold. Eventually, the situation changes. It always does. When you survive the winter, when you build the business, when you get stronger, when you prove your vision, the same people who opposed you often drift back. They say, "I always believed in you. We were just concerned." They may even ask for help. They try to rewrite the past and pretend they supported you. This is your final test. Do not be fooled. Machiavelli warned that people are simple and quick to follow current necessity. The one who deceives will always find someone willing to be deceived. Do not be that person. You can forgive. Holding anger forever is like drinking poison, but never forget. You have created a new standard for access to your life. Those who stood with you when you were down earn a seat at your table. Those who tried to bury you can remain outside. That is not cruelty. That is wisdom. You are now the curator of your own reality. You understand that access to your energy is a privilege. You understand loyalty is rare. You understand that many people only stay when the weather is sunny. Now you are the storm. Keep your circle small. Keep your plans quiet. Never apologize for the boundaries you built while you were surviving. Winning when everyone is against you is not a tragedy. It is an initiation. Life is asking you a question. Do you believe in yourself enough to stand alone? Most people answer no. They fold, they shrink, they return to the herd and live as copies. But you will answer yes. You will use the silence. You will use the darkness. You will study the game while others sleep. You will build a fortress so strong that their arrows cannot reach you. And one day you will stand at the top of that fortress.